top shelf.
Hello and welcome to Top Shelf Board Games. I'm Hubba.
I'm Sabrina.
And today we're reviewing Islebound. In Islebound, you are a seafaring nation traveling about the world and visiting local islands and visiting to do different things. You can be a ruthless conqueror and destroy the towns to take them over to claim them for your own. Or you can be the careful diplomat and use your diplomacy, your influence to control the nations and the different cities around the world that you're exploring in your ships. This game, Islebound, has the beautiful artwork that Ryan Laukat does, and it is present throughout the entire game. It really is. We're going to put this off to the side so camera doesn't blur up on us. The object of Islebound is to collect the most renown, to have your nation be the one that's talked about throughout the world. You'll be collecting renown points in various ways. Or victory points. One way is by just amassing a huge amount of wealth, and every coin is worth a renown at the end of the game. You can also purchase buildings that will give you not only special abilities, but will also contribute to your renown at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. You can also gain renown tokens as you are doing different things and boasting about your triumphs and your crew members, and boasting about the different things will give you renown where you can get extra victory point tokens, which also give you kind of one-time boosts.
I was going to say, with your influence track, you can also use that to do your diplomatic, to win over the city. You use your influence, which also gives you don't have to pay to use those cities. So that helps you with other areas of the board.
Right. So your turn is played pretty simply. You will move. You have to move out of your area. When you move, movement is one space to another space, and the board is broken up into different little areas. You can see the little shadow line going around, and you move your ship from one area to another. You start out only being able to move 2 spaces at a time, but
that depends on your crew.
Right, but you can increase this with your crew. You can get more crew members that increase your sailing speed that allow you to move more spaces. One of the rules for movement is that if you move into a space that contains a ship already, you have to exhaust one of your administrative crew members in order to move into that area. So you can kind of...
regardless of how many players?
Right. However, with 2 players, it's slightly different. You can play with a 2-player variant. That makes it to where if you move into a board, not just a space, but if you move into the same board as the other player, then you have to exhaust your administrator. That makes it to where...
it makes the board shrink.
Right, for a 2-player game. Highly recommend that variant for 2 players.
Mm-hmm. It makes a difference.
After moving, you can choose one main action, and then you can do free actions as much as you want. Free actions can be done either before or after your main action. Main actions include visiting a location that you're at. This involves paying your fee to go into the port of that city. Usually it's a coin, or it might be a coin and exhausting one of your crew members. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead and take the action space, usually paying fish or wood to gain something, or
you just gain it.
Or you might just gain it. You can spend books to get renown. Every space has different actions that you can do. Instead of visiting the action or the space, you can actually attack the port. If you attack the city, you'll use your pirates and your sea serpents in any combination, and as many as you want, to commit to the attack. And you'll roll 1 dice for each one, and you'll take the value of those dice, and you'll place 1 on each card. As long as that dice meets or exceeds the number, you can place it in that spot, thus gaining the amount of attack.
Right, but if you roll bad, then you're just out of luck and you lose those pirates or sea serpents.
However, you can purchase crew members that allow you to get extra dice before you attack to help you be more of a warfaring type of crew.
Right, but I think you can re-roll with wood.
With wood, you can spend it to re-roll some of your dice. This allows you to help mitigate some of that thing. Also, if you don't get enough attack, if you don't meet or exceed the value of the city you're attacking, you can exhaust 1 crew member, and for each time you do that, you'll also gain an extra attack.
I actually don't think I knew that.
This allows you to increase your odds and mitigate the luck involved. Once you're done, however, you'll lose the serpents and pirates that you've committed to that battle. So you got to be careful about it committing too many of them if you don't want to lose all your crew members. Or not your crew, but you lose the fighting ability. The other option you can do is you can do diplomacy. Diplomacy, you can take your influence that you've amassed and spend your influence cubes to persuade that city into becoming yours. Or allying with them, I guess, is more the term that it uses. And when you ally with them, you can then go into that space for free. You don't have to pay the port entry, and you can take the actions without any penalty. So
right. I was going to say you can take over the other players' cities too. So it's not, if they get it, they keep it. You can actually go over there and take it over it too.
Right. It also costs you 2 more points or attack points or diplomacy points if your opponent controls it, though. So it is beneficial to take over the territory before one of your opponents.
And you collect money from that city.
As soon as you defeat it, yes. And then once you defeat it, you also get to go ahead and do the action of that city. So doing the attack or the diplomacy action could net you actually 2 main actions, because you can kind of do the visit action for free if you successfully attack it or use diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. I did notice that the currency through the game, I struggled on keeping it, but I didn't attack a lot. So that's another way to get the money going, is attacking cities and getting the money. So I noticed that was my issue.
Yeah, there's cities that are only, you need 5 attack to win, and then there's some cities that require, 12 attack to take over. Taking over the 12 city one will get you $12, which that's not only $12, that's 12 victory points at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. One thing I really liked about this is you can use those victory points, the money, to purchase other buildings. But with the buildings, there's actually an alternate way that you can purchase those buildings without wasting your money or those victory points to do it. When you purchase a building, it goes into your play area, and at the end of the game, it's going to be worth the same victory points that you purchased it for. So you're not really losing any victory points, but you kind of are. And here's why. If you take 8 coins and you purchase an 8-coin building, you basically invested that 8 coins into that building, and now you get to keep it. However, you can use, if you go to one of the locations, you can use wood and fish to purchase that same building. Wood and fish don't get you any victory points. So you can purchase this 8 victory point card for wood and stone, or wood and fish, and put it into your player area and gain those 8 points, as opposed to just taking the coins and turning them into that.
But there are certain buildings that do give you bonus points for the
right.
wood and fish. So it kind of, there is other options to do that.
There's different ways you can go about it. However, I like that option that you have, that you don't have to spend your victory points to purchase cards. You can use wood and fish to go that route.
If you don't have your money, you can't go to certain areas, which I had a hard time trying to go to certain areas that I really needed because I didn't have money. But if you attack, or if you use, the wood or your fish to go to the other areas to build. But you can use a free action to just purchase a building with your money. Yeah.
And if you're really short on cash and you can't attack and take over an area, you can just go hunt for treasure. That's another thing that you can do. Mm-hmm. Basically, every time you're paying that port entry to go into a city, that money is going into a treasure map. And so when you use the hunt for treasure, you just get to take those coins for free. Which
I'm glad they put that in there, because there's times I couldn't do anything really.
Sometimes you get stuck.
You hunt for treasure. Yeah.
Free actions, I already mentioned you can buy buildings. The other free action that you can do is you can
you do the adventure.
Oh yeah,
there's adventure
the event cards.
Mm-hmm, the event cards. So you go and it has like a nice little story, and you read it, and then you do what the bottom of the card has you do. So if you purchase or give 3 pirates or an attack action, or
you might have to spend, bring them fish. Maybe they're short on food, they're starving, and so they want fish.
Right, it matches the story what they're requiring for you to do. So if you meet that, then you get some influence. Is it always influence, or is there different awards?
You gain influence points at the top of the card. I
didn't know if it was always
at the top of the card. There's it'll tell you get 1 cube, 2 cubes, or 3 cubes to put on the influence track. And so that's the bonus of
doing your adventures.
Doing those event cards is that's how you get influence into those cities. You're basically influencing the city by doing these good things to help the different cities out. And then you can use that influence to ally with them later. And so that's one of the main ways you get your influence cubes onto the influence track.
And it always changes the different location on the board, the influence.
Yeah, so
the story.
Once that card's completed, it goes away, and then the new event is revealed, and now that's the new location where there's a new event going on around the world. They have a little wooden token that you put onto the map to remind players that, hey, there's an event taking place at that location. Really clever, makes it easy to keep track of those two events.
Right, and I did enjoy, though, that you have to always move. So you could be on one space and the event can just come into your area, but you can't do anything with it because you have to move into the area. Mm-hmm. So there's times that I moved into an area that I wanted to do the action but couldn't because I didn't have the money. And I was like, wait, I didn't want to go into that area. I wanted to go to a different area, then go to that area. So you have to kind of catch yourself on doing that.
One of the last options that you can do is you can boast about yourself. And I kind of mentioned that already, but there's different boasting things. You can boast about the pirates that you have, and the more pirates that you have, you'll be able to increase on the renown track. Or you might be able to boast about the money, the wealth that you have, or the influence that you have. And all players will get to collect renown points for that anytime a player goes and boasts about themselves. So in this game, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of cool little things. I love that there's an economy built in. I love that there's multiple ways to get cards. I love that the wooden fish can be helpful in the different circumstances. Fish can also let you move faster too. You can spend fish. And I like that, the victory points are coins. I like the coins that are victory points. That's cool. It's, a lot of games, it's 3 coins or 4 coins is 1 victory point. No, this one, every coin is a victory point. I think that's really cool. It makes it to where you have to really balance the idea of, do I really want to spend these coins or do I want to hoard them? But it's hard to get those cards if I don't spend my coins. But you can go the other route and get the wooden fish, and it just takes a different strategy.
Mm-hmm. There's different strategies into it, which I liked. Like, he kept the money, and I bought the buildings that gave me end game points. So I was getting all those extra points at the end. Because he was thinking he was beating me, but all those extra points at the end bumped me up and stuff.
Every time we've played this game, it has come down to 1 point.
That is true. 1
point games. That's how close we were, and our strategies were very, very different.
Well, and mine was different. I've noticed each time it's different.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit kind of similar, but it's been different too.
Well, that's what I'm saying is each game we've used, between me and Sabrina, we've used polar opposite strategies. And each game we've tried different strategies and still been polar opposite of each other. And every time have been within 1 point of each other at the end of the game.
Right. Which I really liked about this game, for me as analysis paralysis person, is I kind of just told myself, go with the flow. Like, what cards flow out, what happens here, what happens there, just go with it. And it's kind of made me relax. So I do like the game for that. It just made me see how the cards flow and just how, movement around the board, because it drives me nuts when he moves into the area I wanted to go, but I don't have enough crew members to spend, so I'm like waiting for him to get out of that area. So I kind of just had to go with the flow, and I like it and I enjoy it.
Yeah, if you like a little bit of city building, if you like being able to kind of customize your player powers by purchasing the different cards, if you like resource management, if you like being able to do a little bit of conflict, fighting with not only the board and the cities, but also fighting with your opponents, has a little bit of that.
Building your
has
crew.
The customization, has upgrading crew, changing your crew from the other players. If you like that, if you like a little bit of dice rolling in the combat, it's got that. This game has a little bit of everything. I feel like,
but it really flows.
It flows really well, and I feel like it still has a very similar feel of a lot of the other games in this universe. City of Iron 2nd Edition, it has a lot of feeling of City of Iron 2nd Edition, just not quite as heavy and almost more streamlined. It's got above and below that story element into it, the boasting and the event cards. So if you liked, I feel like this is like the culmination of all of Ryan Laukatt's work has come together from the best of all these different games, has come into this one game. And it's kind of, I feel like it's just that culmination of all these good ideas that I loved in all the other games have made it into this game. I really like City of Iron 2nd Edition. That's my favorite Red Raven game. This one, however, I think beats City of Iron 2nd Edition. I don't know. It's going to be really close. I think the reason it beats it is it's easier to play, but still offers the same depth. I mean, it offers a lot of depth.
Well, not
quite as much as City of Iron 2nd Edition. Pretty dang close.
I was gonna say I like it because it's a quick setup too.
Yeah.
So it's easier, quick setup, get going. You don't have to worry because you know there's times you don't have very long to play a game, but you want to play a game.
Yeah.
So I really like this game. I enjoy the movement and the interacting with the board and doing the different adventures and the events and boasting, and I just like everything about it. And I love the artwork, and it just flows really well together. And the theme, the thematic, it's a good one for me.
I think this is one of the. There's not very often that a game comes along that we both equally enjoy it. And I think this is one that I can safely say that we equally enjoy this game, the
So
same.
we will both mention that's what we want to play that night.
Right.
That's like our first choice.
Usually we have very different tastes, so a lot of times we kind of bicker about what we're going to play, and I don't really want to play that one tonight, or,
Right.
This is one I
It's
completely...
one we can quickly agree on.
What's one of the other ones?
I was going to say
It's not
our
very
next
many.
review
Yeah, it's true. Our next review,
is going to be...
that one's about the
Stay
same
tuned.
too.
Oh, we just kind of gave it away, though.
Spoiler!
Anyways, so, yeah. But I did notice that it did get us playing other games more, too. It got us back into playing more games just for fun when we had time.
Right.
So.
Doing these videos and stuff can take a lot of time, and sometimes it pulls you away from just sitting down to play a game just for the fun of it with no intent to do a review or a video or how to play or a round to play or whatever it is we're working on for that week.
I mean, we still enjoy playing those games, but it's nice to just sit and relax and just play a game.
Right, and this game was totally awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. Great game. Top shelf for sure. No question about it for me.
Yep, I definitely agree. And it is the one out of the Red Raven lines that I do enjoy. So definitely check it out.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. Remember to click subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Follow us on Facebook and like us on Twitter.
And we're on SoundCloud now too. So check that out because we did all of our reviews into just
the audio file. Had some issues with it, but we're working on those.
Yeah.
Also, we've launched a Patreon account. If you liked our content and you want to help us to improve the quality and get some cool benefits, cool little rewards that we want to do to give back to you, our followers, you can go to our Patreon account by clicking the link below and go ahead and contribute. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it so much. And happy gaming.
Bye.
Bye.